Good morning, wonderful people, and welcome to episode 133 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast, recorded live on Sunday, November 16th, 2014. Yes, we record live all the time because that's how we like to do it, because then I don't have to edit, because it ruins the live experience.
We do it live.
And speaking of live, we've got Naki with us live from WindyCon today.
Hi, guys! And you actually get to see me on camera for those of you who tune in live. I'm actually on camera for once.
And then we've also got Anthony live from his man cave.
Damn right.
It's not quite as prestigious, because I'm also live in my man cave, which sounds dirty, out of context. But anywho, we've got Naki with us live from
it doesn't
WindyCon.
work. It doesn't work to say lady cave, though.
No, it doesn't really.
It really...
Well, it does, but not with the same meaning.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the people to hang out with
someone
lady cave.
else's man cave. It is a problem.
So for those of you guys that might be listening to the audio podcast at a later date, you might be wondering why we're picking up a little bit of background noise more so than normal. That's because, like I said at the start, Naki is live from WindyCon. She is podcasting from her table at the convention. So we're fancy.
Yeah, if you can turn it.
We're friggin' fancy. That's what it comes down to.
Was we fancy? I almost started singing "I'm So Fancy" and then I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. I'm proud of this choice. I am very proud of this choice.
So since Naki's bandwidth there might be fairly limited as more people get on the network, why don't we just kick off and go with you? And why don't you tell us about your WindyCon experience, Naki? Let us know how things are going.
WindyCon's been fun. We've talked to a lot of people who are interested. I've gotten a lot of people who have decided that they're going to give our flyer to the kids, to their kids. We've also done some live streaming of games while we've been here, so we've been doing that. We have also debuted our new logo, which, if you follow the Twitter feed, I've kind of taken that over, and you have seen it. If you have not, I've got a little preview for you here.
Ooh.
This was designed.
It's for the kids.
Yes, we're totally kid friendly. If you remember Clone Freak from our funeral of Star Wars and a couple other episodes, he is our lovely designer for that. So for all your logo needs.
And well done, sir, I might add.
Although it was funny yesterday, we had somebody say that we are the Christian gaming group, and we're like,
They thought the sword was a cross?
yeah, and we're like, no.
You don't want to listen to our podcast then if you think we're the Christian group.
Well, and he might want to just change the bent part of the sword a little bit so that nobody makes that mistake.
But it's the Master Sword. You can't bend the Master Sword.
Not even Link can bend the Master Sword.
No one can bend the Master Sword.
It's gonna be some funny shit if there's some Christian, clubs gathering together to listen to All Things Good and Nerdy.
Hi, Christian people. We effing love you.
That was not us. No. No, I don't have enough coffee for that discussion.
So what's the scene like out there at WindyCon? Is there a large group of people out that way, Naki?
It's actually, okay, so this is what's cool about WindyCon, and what I didn't know coming into this is that this is the 41st year of WindyCon. If you can read my badge, it says WindyCon 41. This has been going on for 41 years, and like everybody knows each other. We're kind of like the creepy cousin that came in out of nowhere for it being our first year, but a lot of the tables we've talked to here, it's their first year too. But it's really kind of cool. Everybody knows each other. It's like a big old family reunion. So
That's cool.
Nice.
it's a really cool vibe. It's nothing like, the big cons that I'm used to doing, like C2E2 and stuff like that, and it's much more scaled down and laid back, and really don't need to be rushing around as much as I usually rushing around.
You can almost more just kind of enjoy things instead of have to run around like a maniac.
Yeah, and they what's really cool is they take care of their guests. Not saying that like C2E2 and New York and San Diego and all those cons don't, but they have like a con suite that everybody, as long as you have a badge, you have access to. And if you bring your own mug, you can walk around with beer or cider.
Nice.
and like they have food in there, and they've got sodas and water, and it's like, huh.
Very cool.
Yesterday I tweeted about how we have a humane society like 2 tables down from us. Yesterday they brought a kitten. Today they brought a big old bunny. I want to play with the bunny. He's a big bunny.
So Neil said kid-friendly ouch in the chat room. He also said, I thought Christian when I saw the sword on the screen, actually.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Draftsman has said he was there yesterday at the con.
He was. Draftsman was here yesterday, and I didn't get a picture with him because I'm an idiot who doesn't think of pictures.
I refuse to believe he's real then.
That's right. Although, what I was telling these guys before in the pre-show and everything like that, I'm going to do interviews and stuff like that. We'll have an audio-only podcast come probably in the middle of the week, depending on how quickly I can get everything edited together. But there will be a discussion between Clone Freak and Draftsman about the show Constantine, which is one of the few shows on Gonna Geek we don't have a current running podcast for. So
what we're
they were
trying to get.
Yes. It's in the works.
So let me put my
It's not
plug out
currently-
there again, because I keep doing this each week. If you're interested in doing a Constantine-based podcast, Gonna Geek Network is looking for one. So hit us up, any one of the people that are on the Gonna Geek Network, or any one of us in this podcast, so we can get you hooked up with one big papa, aka Stephen John Drew, to try and go about getting one in place.
It is a good show. I just got caught up last night.
I've only watched one episode so far of Constantine, and I'm not sure I'm on board yet or not. I need to watch a couple more before I know for sure.
It's got problems, but there's some good. The Doctor Who references that people have made online are kind of telling.
Yep. What were you gonna say, Naki? Sorry.
No, sorry. So while we were here, we were doing a raffle, and one of our winners just came up. Congratulations. Sorry, I'm also broadcasting live, so I can't actually talk to you at the moment. He says hello. As he's picking through, we had I think 12 or 13 gifts to give away, and he was one of our winners. So he's going through our pile right now and picking what he would like. One of the things that we gave away already was the first 3 books of the Beauregard series. If you have not read that series, I highly recommend it. Another one we gave away already was the first book of the Sandman series by Neil Gaiman, Preludes and Nocturnes.
Oh, nice.
That's a good one.
So there's a lot of stuff that we have, a lot of DVDs. One of them is like Green Lantern, the Emerald Knights DVD, Limitless, Water Monsters, X-Men First Class, Ghostbusters, Space Jam. So I mean, like I got a whole bunch of weird random things going through here. So we've had a really good turnout, and a lot of people came by that are interested. So hopefully, it'll be fun. Sorry if I'm totally cutting in and out. I'm watching my internet bar go like this.
That'll happen. So for those of you guys that might be new to the podcast or tuning in for the first time, basically we are 3 different nerds who get around each week and talk about all things good and nerdy and not be creative within the show name. That's the basic takeaway. We do a live show every Sunday, and we'll bring in guests from time to time where we just tell you the nerdy news of the week, or we bitch and moan about things we don't like in the nerdy news of the week, if that makes sense.
And occasionally talk about Marvel films. Occasionally.
I feel like we've been talking about Marvel a lot lately.
Well, you just set me up really nice for my news of the week, so why don't we just roll into news of the week real quick?
News of the week.
So, my news is about a Marvel film, but it's not one that's Marvel Studios. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, everyone who wants to hate on me.
So it's Big Hero 6?
No, this is going to make fun of the Fantastic Four reboot. I did this on the Gonna Geek podcast this week, and I felt that it needs to be made fun of some more. It's about Dr. Doom. The actor playing Dr. Doom, Toby Kebbell, did an interview about the reboot with Collider. He said he's Victor Doomashev, not Victor Von Doom in our story, and I'm sure I'll be sent to jail for telling you that. The Doom in ours, I'm a programmer, very antisocial programmer, and on blogging sites, I'm Doom. So he's an internet troll, Dr. Doom now.
I was going to say, so he's an internet troll?
Yes.
We turned Dr. Doom into an internet troll?
And he is no longer Victor Von Doom. Guys, I was going to try and keep an open mind on this movie, but nothing sounds anything like Fantastic Four in this movie. It's like they just like, we want to be inspired by the source material, and nothing like it, though.
Yeah, I actually put it out on Facebook the other day. I'm like, at this point, can't Marvel Studios just sue them for defamation of characters? Because they're using the title Fantastic Four, and they're not doing the FF, they're not doing their origin, they're not doing anything from the 60 years of stories. And, yeah, really every single announcement they've made about this movie has made me not want to see it, except for Michael B. Jordan being involved. That's the only thing that makes me want to see this movie, is him as Johnny Storm. Every other announcement has made me not want to see this movie, which is ridiculous.
It makes you realize that maybe Marvel was right when they pulled the plug on the Fantastic Four comic for a while. I mean,
whatever they can do to slow down Fox and eventually get those rights back, yeah, they should fucking do it. Because, I mean, I love, was it Josh Trank, whatever, the director, the guy that did Chronicle?
Yes.
He's the one apparently directing this, but I mean, when they're talking about, like, oh, but he does, handycam movies so well, that's why we wanted him. He'd only really done one blockbuster film, and, like, they're judging him on that alone, like he has no other talent. He made the only found footage movie I've liked in the last 10 years. That doesn't mean he can't do something else. But, I mean, yeah, if it's a found footage Fantastic Four, I'm not going to want to watch it.
No. I just at least try and be somewhat faithful to your source material, I think, is what it comes down to. And I don't think they are being in this case. Neil in the chat room brought up a good point. He goes, it's like Trank doesn't want to make an FF movie, so he's just made a movie he wanted to make and then called it FF under contract. It's brutal. Neil, you're spot on right there. 100% agree with you on that, because I don't know what the hell's going on with this flick. It scares me, and I don't want this to be the bomb that potentially ruins all the other crap for comic book fans. Because that's what Suicide Squad's for, damn it.
All I know is if it gets the rights to revert back to Marvel Studios in the end, it'll be a good thing. You just might have to go through an awful FF movie to do it.
I don't even want to see it. It's like the Roger Corwin 1994 Fantastic Four. I have no desire ever to see it because it just looks...
Come on. You don't want to... What about the Jessica Alba Fantastic Four?
You know why I watched that movie?
Because of Jessica Alba Fantastic Four.
The only reason I watched that was Jessica Alba.
That's, I think, what everybody watched that for.
That's the main reason I watched it. But the reason I go back and watch them again is that Chris Evans is perfect as Johnny Storm.
This is true.
Everybody thinks of him as Captain America now, but in that scene where he has to jump off the building in the second one, and he looks at Reed and he's like, but it's Dulce. Like, that was fucking Johnny Storm. That was perfect. He was perfect. He played that character so well.
I think that's just because Chris Evans is a pretty good actor.
You all can say what you want about Chris Evans and his best character is Captain America or whatever, but come on. He was great in Scott Pilgrim.
I loved him in Scott Pilgrim, too. That was also a character
He played that ex-boyfriend perfectly.
Brandon Routh was also good in Scott Pilgrim.
Hell yeah.
Yes. I'm a level 5 vegan.
I think Brandon Routh's good in just about anything, and I will say until the day I die, he got screwed by Superman Returns.
He really did, but you know what? I'm digging. I haven't seen this week's Arrow. I'm digging him on that show though.
His fucking Ray Palmer is awesome. I love him as the Atom. He's so good on that show.
Yeah, he's not on there this week though, Naki, so you don't have to worry about missing out on some Brandon Routh goodness.
Did I miss out on any goodness whatsoever? Was it a filler week or was it a good week? Don't tell me any details, just let me know.
It was a good week mostly. It continues to set things going forward, and you get to find out more about Wildcat.
Okay.
It's very Wildcat-centric.
I got a little frustrated because I follow Stephen Amell on Facebook now, mostly as workout motivation, but just in general, I follow him on Facebook, and they posted a spoiler from this week's show, and I was like, no!
I didn't even notice.
No.
He is good for workout motivation, that's for damn sure.
If you watch his videos and then don't want to go work out or do parkour or break a building, I think you're watching him wrong.
The dude does work, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
work.
Very, very serious workouts.
So Neil brought up a good point in the chat room, and for those that aren't familiar, our chat room tends to be about a minute behind the live stream because of the way Google works. So this will happen from time to time. We'll step back in time on a topic. He says the only good thing is that the comic book movie genre has survived a bad FF movie before, so it should survive this one. Fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed.
I still want a movie where the Silver Surfer is not the Iceman from The Incredibles.
Touche, yeah.
I like the Surfer. Doug Jones did good. The only thing I didn't like was the Dust Storm Galactus. That was the dumbest thing they've ever done in a movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Doug Jones. He's in one of my all-time favorite movies is Pan's Labyrinth, and he fucking killed it in that movie. So
Yeah, in both roles he played in that movie.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said in both the roles he played in that movie.
Yeah, like as the Pale Man and as the Fawn, he was just amazing, and highly recommend it. If you've never watched Pan's Labyrinth, yes, it's completely in Spanish. It does come subtitled. It is a subtitle movie, but it's just gorgeous. Even if you don't want to watch it for its content, the story is amazing. But it is a gorgeous movie. So
It's on my list of things to watch, but I'm not sure if it's on Netflix right now.
it was. I don't know if it still is.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of new stuff that was just added, though. I found yesterday that Batman 1989 was on there, and it was glorious.
I saw that when we were looking for something to fall asleep watching. I saw that last night, and I was like, oh, well, apparently I've got something to watch this weekend.
Yes, most definitely.
Naki's correct. I hate subtitled films. I almost refuse to watch them, and I own Pan's Labyrinth, and I've watched it 3 or 4 times. It's fucking spectacular.
So go ahead.
I was gonna say it's a shame if you don't like subtitled films. I watch a lot of foreign films just because I like my martial arts movies. So.
So do
and
I,
don't
but I
like
like
them
them
with
English
the weird mouth thing that they do when they just do it dubbed. It's so bad.
I love that.
No,
Back to the
it
80s.
takes so much bad cheesiness that doesn't need to be there.
That's what makes them good.
I don't know if that makes it good.
Good is subjective. Let's just leave it at that.
Did you watch the Raid subtitles, or did you watch it with the dubs?
On what?
The Raid? Or was it Raid? The Indonesian ones that were.
I watched those
just
subtitles.
released.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, you
were-
did watch those subtitles.
They were both fantastic. Those are the best choreography movies in the last 15 years. If anybody hasn't seen those yet, the Raid films are there hasn't been fight sequences done that well in a martial arts film in at least the last 10 years. The Raid is the best fight choreography I've seen. Fucking spectacular.
Interesting. So I'm out of time. I'm out of bitching about Fantastic Four. So I'm going to toss to you, Anthony. What do you got for your news this week?
Mine was just a little article on talking about all of our love for the CW and the Arrow. They actually have. I lost it. Where'd it go? Here we go. Arrow and Flash producers are writing the 2015 Oscars telecast. So that is how the people working on the Flash and the Arrow are. Is they're going to put them in charge of the Oscars.
Interesting.
Yeah, just a little short thing came out. It said Oscars producers Craig Zadan and Neil Marin have tapped Greg Berlanti as head writer of the 2015 Oscars live telecast. Marin took to Twitter to announce that Berlanti will lead the team of writers, which include Arrow and the Flash exec producer Andrew Chrisberg, writer Michael Green, and Pride and Prejudice and Zombies author Seth Grahame-Smith. So basically the people putting together the shows on the CW, they're getting credit within their field, not only from nerds, but from other people in television that realize what good work they're doing, to the point where they're putting them in charge of the fucking Oscars.
Well, and Berlanti's done other stuff before, too.
Yeah, Berlanti's been a part of all sorts of different stuff, but yeah, it's just the fact that, he's working on those shows right now, and he's also going to be part of writing the Oscars.
Yeah,
I love it.
I checked real quick on his Wikipedia. He also did Dawson's Creek, Everwood, Political Animals, Arrow, and Flash.
Yeah, he's been a part of a lot of shows.
Jack and Bobby. He's done a lot of stuff.
Dawson's Creek.
He wouldn't last one day on the Creek.
Dawson's Creek. That show just makes me laugh. It's so bad.
It is. I was talking about Netflix earlier. I was going through and I saw that Varsity Blues is still on there, so I started rewatching it. And all I can remember anytime I see that movie is just the one quote from Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. It's the Dawson! Every time he comes on screen.
You say Varsity Blues, and my mind goes automatically to whipped cream bikini.
No, my mind automatically goes to a fucking tan.
But you know what? What's great about James Van Der Beek is that he completely embraces that fact that that's what he is known as.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys ever watched the show Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment
I did.
23. Like he just
completely
embraced the fact that he is just a joke of himself at this point. And it's he also has a Tumblr where where it's just his facial expressions. And it's just completely ridiculous. It's so funny, and I have to give it to the guy. He knows he's a joke, so he just completely plays it up. And you know what? If that ever was to happen to me, I hope I could do the same thing. You know.
Yes, I just found.
Actually, I am a joke of myself. What am I talking about?
It is James Van Der Memes is the Tumblr that I found, and it's all a bunch of animated GIFs.
There it is.
I know you guys.
Some actors don't seem to have a good sense of humor about themselves, and he apparently really does.
So if you're listening to the audio podcast and want an idea of what we're talking about, go to jamesvandermemes.tumblr.com, and you'll see the hilarity that ensues.
It's great. I highly recommend it. If you just need a laugh, James Van Der Memes is just amazing. And I actually have used it as a lot of reaction GIF in the past.
So since Anthony brought up Arrow, I guess that segues us nicely into our next story that I want to talk about, is that if you've been paying attention on the Twitters this week, they unveiled the new look of the Canary. So minor spoiler if you didn't see it, coming at episode 10, we get Laurel Lance as the Canary in her costume. Basically, it's all black on black leather.
It's kind of what we figured was coming, except she's less boobylicious.
But she's not as well endowed as the previous Canary.
Also, yes.
We argued about this a little bit on the Starling Tribune this week because I am known as a Laurel hater by everyone on the show. And so if I try and give constructive criticism on a costume, it's because I hated her, I guess.
You should quit being a hater.
I hate the character so
Quit being
much.
a hater.
She's getting more tolerable, but the new costume, my biggest worry is it's black on black with no other colors associated with it. Like, if you go and look at Ollie's costume and Roy's costume, there's different shades of green on Ollie's costume. Roy's got red and black to break things up. This is just black on black.
No, there's different shades of black in there. What are you talking about?
Not really.
No, there is. I think you're just a Laurel hater. You are just a giant hater, Chris.
Well, and Black Canary's costume's only supposed to be black and blonde. That's her costume.
That's her costume. I mean, like that's.
Gray in there.
She only wears one color. She wears a black costume with a blonde.
All right, to be fair, she should be wearing fishnets if she's Black Canary, but that's beside the point.
But no, she's not. Okay, so. I think her sister was the sexy Black Canary, and she's the more modern, as you should be, Black Canary, who wears normal clothes that won't get you killed in an instant.
That's true. No, I'm
wondering about that. What does Black Canary look like in the 52?
I don't know. I've said in the past, I've really stopped reading DC. They just make me angry. So.
I'm down with Batman and Grace. That's it. So I'm wondering what her costs like nowadays.
I don't know. I just wanted to see some other shade in there. Like, here's, for instance, what the new 52 costume is. I'll pull up on screen for everyone. Where there's actually, like, some gold in there and different shades of black.
But look at the fishnets.
That's what I'm finding too. Yeah, fishnets.
Get rid of the fishnets. I like the fact that there's some contrast in there. It doesn't just get lost on a page in this case, or on film in the case of the next costume.
But this is not. We're like, honestly, if you go back and you watch Arrow, you can tell this is very loosely based on something that used to be a successful comic book. I don't think Arrow is considered a successful comic book anymore. Or Green Arrow, not Arrow, Green Arrow.
Certain ones
you don't hear
and
people
the new
talk about it ever.
Well. the new one's doing well because it's starting to pick up some of the stuff from the show.
Exactly. Neil brought up a good point in the chat room. He goes, the black garters are really the only good thing that seemed a bit odd if you look close at the costume.
I mean, honestly, the new canary costume doesn't bother me just because to me, it's like a safe black canary, not one that'll just get you killed because you look good.
Let me clarify. I'm not bothered by it. That's really my only concern. Is I don't think it's going to pop very well on screen. I think it's a good choice. I just wish there was a little more color to it or contrast so it would show up a little better.
I see, and I think the way that they've worked on that show, like bringing characters in and out of shadows and hiding people, I think they'll use the contrast of the wig to where whenever you need to see her, they'll light the wig, and then the rest of the suit won't really matter. And so it won't be like a gratuitous ass shot in every scene she's in. She'll move in and out of shadows when she needs to, and when they need a lighter to where you can really see her, they'll start it by setting off the wig.
She's going to be really good about moving in and out of shadows with 2 weeks of superhero training under her belt.
Yeah, but it's 2 weeks of superhero training with Ted Grant, baby. He can turn anybody into a badass. Even though it is weird that it's like a young Ted Grant. And I love the idea that, I mean, I don't want to do any real spoilers, but basically like they have him as a retired, vigilante, like Wildcat's supposed to be.
Right.
But the actor looks like he's 23.
Yeah,
like,
the actor looks younger.
I'm sorry. He looks younger than Ollie.
Yeah,
like,
he looks younger than Stephen Amell is what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Ted Grant, I loved him, and they brought up Clone Freak mentioned in the chat room, Brave and the Bold, it was Arlie Ermey's voice, which was perfect, that old gravelly drill instructor voice, and him yelling at Batman was just, like, the perfect voice casting. I almost want them to just have Arlie Ermey do the voiceover for the character in Arrow, and it would be amazing.
He just has one of those magic voice changers like Ollie, and it turns it on, and it sounds like...
Yeah, there you go. They put him in the mask, and all of a sudden he becomes Arlie Ermey. I would fucking love that.
So Neil brings up a point in the chat room. He said the classic costume looked like it had some very dark blue, but from a colorist perspective, and he points at you, Anthony, he goes, was that just used to differentiate a different shade of black?
I believe so. I think they just toned her costume, because I believe her actual original costume was just the black jacket on the black bodysuit over the black stockings.
Yeah, I believe it's black on black on black.
Yeah.
I think it's always been black on black on black. I think the new 52 gave us the gold, but I think it's always been black on black.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, there were two Black Canaries. There was the mom and then the daughter. But yeah, I mean, if I Google just Black Canary, it's a black jacket over a black, like, one-piece swimsuit, basically, and then the black stockings. But yeah, it's from everything I can see, yeah, it was just differentiated with slight blues and grays just to give it, 3 dimensions in the comics for when they were coloring it, when they're inking it. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it was just a black on black costume. And then the cartoons, I think they made the jacket blue, from what I'm seeing. It looks like it was usually blue just to make it a little easier to differentiate.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. For those watching the live stream, I just pulled up the animated Black Canary, and I think it's just shading.
Because then, yeah, you get the blue. Was it the core highlight, like they do on Nightcrawler and Beast when you have a character that's dark blue and you light them internally. You have the same thing on her bodysuit where you get a blue highlight to show that something's black, but you can't just do black on black and be able to see anything. So
they did the same thing with Young Justice too.
Yeah, where you get the blue jacket over the black bodysuit. Yeah. That way you can tell the difference and you can see that there's two different materials there. But yeah, it's just a coloring thing to make it easier for the audience to see what's going on. But yeah, in the comics it was always just black on black. So I mean, if anything, her costume's probably a little closer to a realistic version of the Black Canary costume in combat than any of the other guys' costumes on the show so far.
Yeah, that's
I don't remember Arrow ever wearing a little half jacket like in the comics.
Me neither. Clone Freak in the chat room raises a good point. He goes, after Naki said something about Roy looking weird in costume, I can't unsee the weirdness. His face goes from being slim, but then with the hood on, it puffs up like a blowfish.
Yeah, there's something wrong with the way the hood sits on Roy's head.
The way the hood sits combined with the mask, it makes his face
in some of the scenes it looks like his hood's like got air in it or something. That and I don't know. I don't dig the shoelaces on his costume.
Are we talking about the Ray costume?
The Roy costume.
The Roy costume.
Oh my god, it's terrible. It's terrible.
It's like they cut up 4 red corsets for a chick and then turned them into leggings for a guy. I don't know why you would do that.
No, it's okay. I seriously, there was the one, I think it was the Felicity episode. Yeah, it's the Felicity episode. He pops out from behind the truck and he makes this super serious face, and I bust out laughing because he's got these like little laces all over, and he's just like, whoa, what is this?
I do love the actor. That kid has done so much since freaking Teen Wolf. He's gotten so much better. If you go back and watch that show, like, he's not a bad actor, but he has grown, like, in leaps and bounds. But, I think right now his only problem is costuming. They really need to give him a new costume.
They can't do the laces thing. It's just weird.
To be fair, I think most of the actors on this show have gotten better even since the show started.
Oh, definitely.
Oliver Queen himself.
You see, I thought that at first, but then I realized that was the way they were portraying that character in the beginning, was to be stiff, wooden, and not open anything, and to be aloof.
I mean, I've talked about it before, but, like, I don't watch Arrow for Oliver. I watch Arrow for everybody else.
I watch Arrow for Felicity. I mean, what?
Hell yeah.
No one is surprised by you. No one is surprised by you.
Are you kidding? I didn't think she could be hotter than she was on The Flash until they gave her own episode. Oh my
god. Neil also says he's really excited for the character Cupid. If you're familiar with the pre-New 52, she's freaking crazy. Because if you guys didn't notice, that's who's coming into town next week is Cupid.
Yeah.
Shush! I still haven't seen this week's episode. Why do you all insist on spoiling me?
Naki, that's not a spoiler. It's what was in the post-credits teaser.
Yeah.
Again, you insist on spoiling me.
I love it. Neil just said Roy throws blue steel or magnum in his serious scenes.
He does. He totally does.
He's killing him with the magnum look. Which is hilarious because I just saw something on because the kid that plays Roy was a male model and I guess still is a male model, and he put up a picture of him and I can't think was it Emily Bennett, the actress that plays Felicity Smoke. And, like, they've been, vacationing together and all sorts of stuff because apparently they're actually dating in real life. And somebody put a thing on there saying, what, I thought all male models were gay. It's like, yeah, apparently not this one, but apparently this one has a really good fucking, choice in hot-ass women because, yeah, Roy is dating Felicity.
If he can just going back a couple seconds here, Anthony threw up his own version of the blue steel. Can we just get a freeze frame of that and put that for our new site, like for everything? Because that would be great.
No. I should not have done that.
I'm putting this out to to our peanut gallery. If you guys get a good clip of a picture of that, I would really like to post that everywhere because that's amazing. That was an amazing face.
And it's the No Shave November Magnum too, so yeah.
I got a message.
No, we want to embrace the fact that we are just a giant joke. So that would be great.
Fair enough. I can do that.
Yes.
So I don't have much left in the way of news. I think I got like 3 stories left, and most of them are pretty quick. I don't know if you guys had seen, but the Joker's back in the Batman comics now. And he has a face again. So go team.
Yeah, I saw. The last issue was the big $5 one, and it's leading up to this because it's Batman in downtown Gotham, and you see him like in a suit, and like he's talking to himself, saying about what's about to attack him, and all of a sudden you see Diana show up and start whooping on him. And you're like, what the hell's going on? And you realize basically the entire Justice League is there to fight Bruce, and he takes down pretty much all of them except for the God, of course, Superman. And then at the end of the issue, spoiler alert, fucking suit smiles at him, and you realize the whole fucking Justice League have been Joker gassed.
Yep.
And so that's why they're there to whoop Batman's ass. It was a great issue, but it's really fucking creepy to see Greg Capullo draw a smiling Superman. That image is gonna stick with me for a while. Joker gas Superman is fucking creepy.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And I guess they've been planting the seeds for the return of the Joker in some of the other books, and I didn't realize it because I haven't been reading a bunch of them. But I guess
Nice.
he's a character we'd already been introduced to who was hiding in plain sight, and now he's back with a real face. And I'm kind of intrigued, and I love the cover work that Greg Capullo did here with like the two drama masks basically being the Joker.
Yeah. And yeah, the stuff that Capullo's done on the Batman book, like even if you don't like Snyder's stories, it's been worth it because like the 0 Year shit lasted way too long, but
Agreed.
it was worth buying just for Capullo's artwork of the destruction of Gotham. He's been doing such a fantastic job on that book and keeping it coming out and on time. Capullo's a fucking workhorse. The guy is amazing. But yeah, Scott Snyder apparently has also said he wants this to be his last Joker story. So after Death of the Family, I'm super excited to see what he's going to do with this story because Snyder is a hell of a writer.
He really is. The Snyder and Capullo team is fantastic, and I love the way Capullo just makes a creepy Joker. I mean, because here's another picture of his Joker from this new run, and he's creepy as all hell.
Oh yeah.
And what makes it fun is whenever I read his Joker, I always hear Mark Hamill's voice in my head.
Oh yeah.
Always.
It's
There's
definitely
no way
the
around it.
J-Man. Yeah. It's definitely the J-Man.
So I got two more stories. I'll go with one that will take the least time to do next. Is that the villain for Bond 24? It might have been cast. It might be Christoph Waltz. It hasn't been confirmed he's going to be the bad guy, but Christoph Waltz will at least be in Bond 24, and I'm intrigued because I think he's an awesome actor.
If he tries to do a creepy villain though, he's gonna have a lot of trouble beating the last one.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
wow, the villain in Skyfall was probably the creepiest Bond villain we've ever seen.
This film's set to come out October 2015 in the UK, November 6, 2015 in the US. Other rumored people to bring in is Dave Bautista is rumored to play the role of a key henchman in the new Bond.
Nice.
Supposedly, Naomi Harris will be coming back. Ray Fiennes will be coming back to reprise their roles from Skyfall, as well as Daniel Craig. And Sam Mendes is back to direct as well. So, sounds like they get a good crowd coming in, because Skyfall, really fun movie, made up for the crap that was Quantum of Solace.
Yeah. But that's
So
pretty much all good news that those people are coming back. Did you see James Gunn's acceptance speech for the was it the Hollywood Movie Awards? Whatever
No.
fucking show. But he accepted him and Star-Lord got up on stage and accepted, I think it was for Best Movie for Guardians of the Galaxy. Go Google the speech. He gave a nice speech about who the movie was for. It's fucking fantastic.
I'm a big James Gunn fan, and I'm glad you brought up James Gunn, because that segs nicely into the next story I had. James Gunn did an interview with MTV where he explained that Guardians 2 will not pave the way for the battle over the Infinity Gauntlet in Infinity Wars. So that theory completely debunked.
No.
He said, quote, I don't feel... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, he also said they lost one of the cutscenes, his favorite cutscene, because of movie rights. So it was the one that he was most happy to put on the Blu-ray, and it is not going to be on the Blu-ray. He said there's plenty of extras on there, and there's going to be plenty of good stuff, but apparently there was a sequence where Star-Lord and Gamera are getting dressed, and they're kind of checking each other out, and then there was a certain song playing during that sequence, and I guess whatever rights battle there were for the song, Marvel ended up losing, so they're not going to have that scene on the Blu-ray.
That's a bummer. Now I'm all bummed out. So let me get into James Gunn's quote he had about this, though. He goes, I don't feel beholden to all that stuff at all. I think it's really about the Guardians and what they are doing. We're not subservient to the Avengers. I like that statement. That's my Chris Farrell aside. He goes, Guardians 2 is not a movie that's made to move toward Infinity War. It's something that's made to move toward future cosmic movies, so I don't feel that is something that affects me that much. So, number one, our theory that this is going to build into Avengers Infinity War, blown to pieces. I'm kind of cool with that.
I mean, it might not be a stepping stone film, but I'm definitely thinking there's still going to be something in there.
There'll be some kind of ties.
The first Guardians built towards it because it gave us one of the gems. So
Yeah.
I mean, there'll be something. I don't think it's going to be apart from the Marvel universe, but I do like the idea that James Gunn's saying that it's not just going to be some stepping stone film that's only there to serve the next Avengers.
See, I think a lot of people, including myself, had the theory that Guardians 2 was going to be pretty much a direct lead-in to Avengers, which would pretty much have Guardians 2 end with Thanos marching on Earth.
I could see it.
That was my theory, at least. And, excuse me, I know a few other people had a similar one. And I'm kind of glad they're not doing it.
I think I'll be happier, if the next movie, because the Guardians are leaving now as a team in their own ship, and then go do whatever they want, basically, at the end of the first film. And so if they were to immediately go out and find another one of the Infinity Gems, that would seem really stupid. At this point, you'd think they'd want to do anything they could to stay away from the Infinity Gems.
There's all sorts of crossover opportunities. I guess I just pulled up some other news articles while we were talking. Chris Pratt was doing an interview, and he was asked about potentially appearing on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he'd said, I wouldn't rule it out. Marvel would have to decide, but if it made sense for the brand and for the story, yeah, sure, I'd do it. That'd be cool if we got Star-Lord on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That would be pretty cool.
It doesn't make sense because they're nowhere near Earth at this point, so...
No, but if they could work it out, I'd be down for it. I just got caught up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again, too, so...
That's the third actor from the movies that said they'd be willing to come on to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Chris Pratt joins Robert Downey Jr. and Jeremy Renner as other actors who said that, oh yeah, I'd do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And they should definitely have a Renner through there. Just a Hawkeye cameo? Like, how hard would that be?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no CGI. Like, it's one of the down-to-earth characters. If anything, they should be getting on the ball to make sure that there's a Hawkeye and a Black Widow cameo. Like where they run into them, in the middle of a mission and the teams cross. That would be so simple, and the ratings for that episode would go insane.
Oh
if
yeah.
You fucking Jeremy Renner and Scarlett Johansson to show up for a 30-second segment on one of the episodes. They could sell some serious ad revenue, which is what TV's all about.
Okay, so I lied. I pulled a couple other news stories for you guys, and you guys want to guess who the most profitable superhero was in the last year from licensing deals and movies and merchandise and all that crap?
Profitable?
Yes.
Is that a word?
Yes.
The superhero that made the most money?
Yep.
Batman.
Close, but no. The world's most profitable superhero is in fact Spider-Man.
Oh, wow.
Last year, Marvel sold approximately $1.3 billion worth of Spider-Man products, which is approximately 4 times the $325 million they made from the Avengers products. Meanwhile, their competition at DC struggled to keep up. Unsurprisingly, their most popular character was in fact Batman, you're correct, who brought in about $494 million, while their second most popular character was Superman, who brought in $277 million worth of licensing money, things like that.
I guess that makes sense. The Nolan films weren't exactly heavily licensed for products and stuff, and we all know fucking Amazing Spider-Man, like, you had your fucking kids' meals at McDonald's, you had your toys, like, they slapped the Amazing Spider-Man stuff and the new Electro on everything.
Yeah, no doubt. Wow, I'm going to pull up this graphic just because it's really cool to see how well superhero stuff is selling now. This is an article over on comicbookmovie.com where they show back in 2009 shipments of licensed products for Marvel was about 1,000, and then you move to 2014 and Marvel was shipping over 5,000 licensed products, and then you look at DC, and God, you can barely even see what it was in 2009, and now I guess about 2014 it might be, what, 3,000? I mean, no. 300.
No, that's...
Scale. 300.
Yeah.
Maybe, different products for DC. So Marvel has marketed the shit out of themselves, which is kind of cool. I mean, this is not me doing Marvel versus DC. I just think it's really cool to see how well all this comic book stuff is selling.
And how ridiculous is it that the DC numbers are that low? They have Batman and Superman. Like, those two logos are two of the most recognized iconographic symbols in the world. I mean, you can't go into any store and not see a Batman and a Superman T-shirt for sale. And yet that's how low the numbers are? That's crazy.
I like this. The second graph they have there is showing global retail sales, and you can see that Spider-Man just wallops everyone. But what is really interesting to see there is that the vast majority of Spider-Man money comes from international sales, not from USA and Canada.
Well, because it's one of the... Clone Fleet just got licked, I think. It's one of the things that's been talked about. When you look at the big characters, the Trinity from Marvel, or I'm sorry, the Trinity from DC, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. The flagship character from Marvel though is Spider-Man, and Spider-Man has the one thing that none of the other major characters have, and that's that he wears a full bodysuit. They did a issue in the Avengers where they talked about it with Bendis, where someone was sitting there talking about kind of a race relations idea, and they said, well, what does Spider-Man care about it? He's not black.
Neil is my new
sitting
favorite
there in the costume, and he goes,
My new
"How do you
favorite
know about black?" Thanks, Neil.
Yeah, so Neil, you are a new favorite person. For those who are watching live, you can see that Anthony's blue steel has been image captured for posterity.
That's our new logo right there.
Yeah, this is the new ATGN logo.
Put the letters right underneath that. Yeah, just put the letters underneath that.
Yeah, screw our new logo. That's it. We got it right there. Anthony's blue steel.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I was making a very salient point about race relations in comic book characters too.
We're
Yes.
getting too serious. I had to blue steel it.
It was too serious. We needed
Serious.
the blue steel. We needed that.
The No Shave November blue steel. Bring it on. All right. Put that shit on a T-shirt. Let's make some money.
Teespring.com, I think, is where you can go and make your own T-shirt.
I actually just got a flyer for one that's local to Chicago. So there we go.
So there we go.
I'm putting it everywhere. Screw it.
All right, I will agree to the likeness rights and give them in full to ATGN as long as I get one free T-shirt.
Fair enough.
Obviously.
I'll
And
do
you have
anything
to
for
wear
a free
it.
T-shirt.
Like you have to.
I'll wear it on camera.
Especially when you go to cons and just being like, you see this? You see this sexiness right here, right here.
He's internet famous is what that means right there. I'm going to spread that stuff along the whole network. Neil says in the chat room, my work here is done. Mic drop.
I'm wondering who Mike is that he dropped because he spelled Mike wrong.
It's okay. We can...
Hey, I gotta get him on something right now. Not my favorite person.
So I did have one last news article before we start wrapping things up because I'd forgotten about this one until I went and pulled some stuff. A little bit of sad news here. Glenn A. Larson, who was the creator of the original Battlestar Galactica and Knight Rider and various other shows, has passed away. He was 77. But as a kid, I grew up watching Knight Rider, loved it. I enjoyed watching the reruns of Battlestar Galactica for a while when I was younger, but then I got older and realized I pretty much hated it.
But you have to appreciate them.
I still appreciate them, but it was just way too campy for how I like my sci-fi and stuff. And when I was younger, I loved them.
They were all high.
Yeah, that's true too.
It was really. I was kind of. When I read that, I was sad. I was like, aw. I didn't realize how old he was. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's like, oh, that show is kind of old, and then you're just like, oh wow. Like I didn't realize how old it was. I think it's just because you can always watch it though too, like as a rerun type thing, and then you're just like, this show will never age.
It's never truly dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be talking about him on Hollywood Babylon with his,
Oh, no doubt.
with his giant body of work.
So guys, that is literally all I had for news, and all of the news I could scrape together at the last second because I forgot about news. So I guess we should start wrapping up. And for those that are new to the show, not familiar, we generally wrap up by sharing amongst the panel what all we've been getting into and what we are getting into going ahead to maybe get you interested in some of our same interests. And I'm going to toss to Naki first because she's probably got the best list since she's out at WindyCon.
I am at WindyCon. That is what I'm getting into. We're going to do interviews today. I think I talked about this a little bit earlier. But right now, the big news of WindyCon is that there's a bunny over there, and I really want to go play with it. Also, if you come by WindyCon and you see our neighbors from across the way, we have the Chicago Zombie Squad right across the way from us. We've been having candy wars because we have a ton of candy here, and so we've been launching it at each other. Like, they've actually built a catapult at this point. So
I saw the pictures of it.
My ears are burning.
we might only be talking about you a little bit. You want to say hi?
Hello! There you are.
There they
You're on the zombie guy.
Nice.
He's from the Chicago Zombie Squad. I'll have an audio interview with him
Zombie
up
Squad
later.
is what it says on my chest.
Yes.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to this interview.
And we're gonna
That's by the
continue
goatee.
Andy.
That is some serious goatee action. Damn.
Yes. Yes. He's jealous of your goatee.
I drew it. It's part of the uniform, right?
Okay,
It's
yes.
color coordinates.
Can
yes.
you hear him? He says
Yes,
it's
we
part
can.
of the uniform. Okay.
Yeah, color coordinates. It matches the official colors are black and silver,
I
right?
can dig it. I love it.
Knock, if they got Zombie Squad like name tapes, I want one.
Okay, I'll try and see what I can get for you.
That's awesome. So I'm getting a report from our exclusive behind-the-scenes person on the scene, a.k.a. Clone Freak. He says, we're very weird here over at the con. Me and Naki have had 5 gallons of coffee.
Actually said
Yes.
wired, not weird. Wired.
Okay, my bad.
We have not actually eaten anything. All we've had is coffee. So we're a little.
Coffee is one of the 5 major geek food groups.
That's how you power through a con. It's massive amounts of caffeine.
And it is the last day of con, so we're just at this point of we're either going to be crashing and burning and it'll be terrible, or just be so wired. It'll be great. It'll be great. It's fun. It's cool.
I can dig it. Sounds like you guys have been having fun. I'm pretty jealous.
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun playing around with our neighbors. We've got DuckCon next to us as well. We have okay. So those of you who don't know what Ingress is, it's a mobile phone game, and we have both sides right next. So on the Zombie Squad side, we have the Resistance, and on our side we have the Enlightened. So those two have been battling all day, every day. And then over there, like I said, we have the Humane Society, Geek Bar Chicago, which I've actually talked to about doing a podcast inside of it by them. We've got the Klingon Christmas Carol here that are right down the way. We've got a bunch of authors. I mean, there's a lot to do and there's a lot of really cool panels. I know Squeakcast is here too. I think they did a live podcast yesterday here. So yeah, it's been really fun. It's cool. And we're going to start we need to start building our catapults so we can start launching chocolate proficiently instead of just throwing it at them.
So if you guys want to see more of the catapult and the chocolate wars, you can probably go check the ATGN podcast Twitter account, because Naki's been live tweeting like a maniac everything that's going on, and there'll be some pretty awesome pictures, I wager.
They have the best catapult, and they did it with some pencils, some tape, and a fork. So.
Nice.
And for those of you guys listening now, we'll try and have those interviews she was talking about up later in the week, or we'll put them up with next week's episode or something like that. We will have them up on the stream for you guys at some point. Do not worry.
Yes, and I'll have all the pictures that I take this weekend, including some of our winners of the raffle, those that I have gotten in touch with, and been able to take a picture with. I'll have all that stuff out on Facebook. Well, I'll make an album for us.
On the face places. And if you guys need those links, we'll give them you guys at the end of the show, just to remind you where you can find us all on the internet. But I'll go next. What I've been getting into, it's real simple. Halo the Master Chief Collection came out on Tuesday, so that's about all I've played on my Xbox lately, is lots of Halo, because it makes me feel like a kid again, because going back to the original Halo game that came out in 2001, it's so much fun that I go through and play that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this map. I need to go here, I need to go here, I need to go here. And then I forget that I'm not as good as I used to be, and I get my ass kicked. I can't play on Legendary anymore, guys. I'm not that good anymore.
I found that out about Gears of War, too, because I went and played Gears of War on like the hardcore, on Insanity, and I'm like, oh god, I'm dead, and I'm dead.
I just need to practice, I think, is what it is. So I'll do that during my holiday break when I take like 2.5 weeks off work and just do nothing besides chores and video games.
And making us pretty. We're super pretty. Look how pretty we are.
Yes. What other things I've been getting into is I've been reading a lot of my older comic books and stuff that I had on Comixology, just because I got an itch to read comics again. So I've been reading a bunch of the old Marvel events and things like that. I've got Death of Marvel that I did download. I haven't had a chance to reread it again yet, but I'm looking forward to touching on that again. And nice. I guess the last thing I've really been doing, trying to keep on top of all of the comic book TV shows that are out right now. I am caught up on everything but Constantine at the moment. So, haha! And I'm going to toss it over to Anthony now for his what he's been into segment.
Nice. I had a Kickstarter show up, and I actually just checked, and here is the PDF showed up as well. It looks like there might be some nudity on the cover, but there is not. But I got my Drawing Beautiful Women the Frank Cho Method.
Oh, nice.
It is a gorgeous book, and yeah, the PDF just popped up on the Kickstarter as well. I got Birthright issues 1 and 2. This is a fabulous book. It's got a twist at the end of the first issue where it's one of those ones where if you tell anybody, it really ruins it. And so everybody go read at least the first issue of Birthright. As soon as I read the first issue of Birthright, before I read the second issue, I sent an email to my shop and had it added to my pull list. That book is going to be fabulous. Not quite done with the Thrawn trilogy yet. Maybe about 2/3 of the way through. So I'm getting there. It's a long one. It's good. It's one of those ones that there's so much stuff going on, so many different new character names that I think as soon as I'm done reading it, I'm probably going to turn right back around and start reading it again, just to make sure I get everything that happens, because a lot of shit goes down in these stories.
Yeah, that was my biggest complaint with the Thrawn trilogy being adapted into a comic, is it's really hard to keep up with some of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. It's good though, but there's a lot going on. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. That one's a blast. I got caught up basically Friday and Saturday night on all of the comic book shows except for Gotham. I got caught up on Constantine, Arrow, Flash, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So the only one I got to watch today is Gotham. I'll be caught up on everything. Those are fun, and I did all that while I was coloring, which I haven't been able to do in a while because I lost my Intuos 3 because life sucks. But this lovely, lovely Intuos 5 just showed up in the mail from Amazon. So that's what I've been doing this weekend, is coloring geek, because my ass is behind schedule, and that book's fucking done. So yeah, I turned in a page last night. I've got one almost done today. So that'll be my 2 pages for the week, which hopefully will be my new, at least while I'm still dealing with house issues. That's my new goal, is to try to get 2 pages completely flatted, rendered, uploaded, and done every week, just to get back on track and get that damn book done. We're probably going to win an award. I think we're going to end up being the longest running Kickstarter that people completely forgot about, and then it actually shows up at their fucking door. And I ordered this 3 years ago. I didn't know this was still going to happen, because at this point people probably think we just took their money and ran away. But no, the book is still being worked on. I'm just really slow. I gotta tell you, people, when you get into coloring or doing comics or something, jumping into a 131-page graphic novel is like your 4th coloring project might be a little tough. I might have bitten off a little more than I could chew. But I'm learning, and I'm slowly chewing, and I'm like the girl in the Shel Silverstein book that ate the whale. I'm gonna get there, goddammit. I don't care how long it takes. I will finish this fucking book.
I did have one last thing I forgot to add because it completely escaped my mind. I've also been listening to Pink Floyd's new album because it's awesome to me that there's a new Pink Floyd album. It's mostly instrumental stuff, but it's really fun. If you're a Pink Floyd fan, go check out The Endless River.
Wait, they're still alive?
Not all of them. But a lot of what they did is they took some stuff from the studio that they'd recorded and never put out, and they took David Gilmour's keyboard stuff that he'd done back in 93, and they pulled it into this.
Oh, nice.
So he still has a place in the album. If you like Pink Floyd, you'll really enjoy it. It's super mellow, but it's fun. I guess that's the best way of putting it. Just to close the show, did want to remind everyone, if you're listening for the first time, here's where you can find us on all the social medias. You can find us on Twitter at ATGN Podcast, on Facebook at facebook.com/allthingsgoodandnerdy. And if you're really motivated and you want to give us a piece of your mind, you can call us on the ATGN hotline. That's our voicemail number at 304-806-ATGN. And we will take your voicemail comments. We'll put them on the show. And you can mock us mercilessly if you want. We accept all kinds of mocking.
I also wanted to apologize. I was going through our Twitter feed last night, and there was a bunch from end of October, beginning of November that I think we missed. I don't think we ever replied to them. So I send out messages saying sorry, and trying to let everybody know that I am now. It's now wired to my phone, so
Oh, nice.
I will actually be able to like answer messages and stuff like that. So I'm really sorry that we're super delayed. We were super delayed on that, but a couple of them were like comments on the DC hate, and a couple of them were on Marvel and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
just wanted.
I'll apologize too, because when I swapped over to Twitter, I stopped really having direct message access to the ATGN account on my phone because there's no good way for me to stream DMs in. So, sorry guys.
So sorry we dropped the ball. I got it. I have everything working now. I can totally take your messages on Twitter now. So that is a thing that will be back and active. I will be tweeting out things hopefully more progressively and less me being delayed because I didn't have Twitter. My bad.
So
Sorry.
I think that's probably going to wrap us up for this week, unless you guys have any parting thoughts or anything like that.
Baymax.
Baymax rocks. I am
We
satisfied with my care.
And if you are in the area, come check out WindyCon today. Today is the last day, but I will have interviews and stuff like that later on this week.
Okay. And we'll have those up soon. Big thank you to Naki for joining us live from WindyCon and going out there and repping the show.
Yeah.
Go team.
With Clone Freak. Thank you to Clone Freak for helping me out this weekend and
Agreed.
being my technical master.
And for our spiffy new logo.
Yes, and the
it's
spiffy new
spiffy
logo.
new logo.
So, guys, I think that's going to wrap us up for this week. Don't forget, we'll be back live next Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. You can do all the rest of the math for your time zone from there at live.atgnpodcast.com. So, until next week, bye-bye.
Bye.